Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is role of youth in sports. But before I will go to the topic, I would like to inform you that today is a National Voters Day. National Voters Day is celebrated on January 25th every year since 2011, all across the country to mark the foundation day of Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India was formed on 25th January 1950. The main purpose of the National Voters Day celebration is to encourage, facilitate, and maximize enrollment, especially for the new voters. Dedicated to the voters of the country, the day is utilized to spread awareness among voters and for promoting informed participation in the electoral process. Today, we are also celebrating National Tourism Day. National Tourism Day is celebrated on the 25th January every year. This celebration is all about to cultivate and create awareness among the society globally on the significance of tourism and its social, political, financial, and also cultural worth and value. As we know that India is a diverse nation and it offers several forms of tourism, including cultural, nature, heritage, educational, sports, rural, ecotourism, etc. This diversity of India makes it a prime attraction for the tourists. Media conference with Lal Goel wishes you on National Voters Day and National Tourism Day. Now coming to our main topic, that is role of youth in sports. Sports is such an activity that it can be taken up by anyone at any age and at any point in life. Adults, children and elders, everyone alike can take part in sports. Many regard sports as a mere co-curricular or extracurricular activity in schools. However, in reality, sports play an equally important role as does education in a person's life. To achieve overall and all-round development in life, one should be well versed in both sports and culture. While training sharpens the mind, sports sharpens the body and fitness. Thus, both are essential. There are numerous advantages of involving oneself in sports. First and foremost, as known by all and very definitely, competitions increase the physical fitness of an individual. And additionally, sports also contribute to building stable mental well-being of a person. Various researchers show that people who are in the daily practice of sports in any form record better mental as well as physical health. Moreover, sports also eliminates the risk of a person catching diseases or facing any bodily interruptions. Competitions increase immunity and increase people's stamina. The world's most accessible and practiced sports is running, while association football is the most popular spectator sport. The history of sports extends back to the ancient world. The physical activity that developed into sports had early links with ritual welfare and entertainment. Sports is particularly key to youth development. Physical education, physical activity, and sport in general contribute to the development of soft skills and impart values such as teamwork, solidarity, and respect, all of which are crucial to building peaceful and cohesive societies. The Kazan Action Plan recognizes the importance of this dimension and also emphasizes a holistic approach that ties youth empowerment with gender and sports. Inspired by the Kazan Action Plan, the UNESCO Youth, excuse me, just hold on, I will just mute Mr. Khanna. Some disturbance is coming. Yeah. Inspired by the Kazan Action Plan, the UNESCO Youth and Sport Task Force was created to establish a platform that could facilitate youth involvement in the decision-making process. This task force provides young leaders with a safe place to discuss issues such as sport and the SDGs, prevention of violent extremism, non-communicable diseases, gender equality, and climate action. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports is a branch of the Government of India which administers the Department of Youth Affairs and the Department of Sports in India. Although hockey is India's national sports, but cricket is the most popular sport in India. And to discuss today's very, very important topic, the role of youth in sports, we have our chief guest, and he is Mr. Surinder Khanna. Mr. Surinder Khanna is the former Indian cricket player. When the selectors decided to drop Syed Kirmani for the tour of England in 1979, Mr. Khanna was given the big break. He was the designated wicketkeeper for India in 1979 World Cup. He played in all the 3 World Cup games. He was in the Indian team for the 1984 Asia Cup held at Sharjah. He scored half centuries in low scoring encounters against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. India won the tournament and Mr. Khanna was named man of the series. He was a member of the Indian team that went to Pakistan in October the same year. Between 1991 1992 in Scotland, Edinburgh, he played as a professional cricketer for Cotsfine Cricket Club and Stewart's Melville Cricket Club. During the 1991 season, he scored 1,098 runs at an average of 91.5. Nowadays, he is a cricketing expert of All India Radio, Doordarshan, and of course, honorarial media conference with Lal Goel. Welcome, Mr. Surinder Khanna on our show. Mr. Surinder Khanna, as you know, the sports is a very, very important aspect, especially for the youth. And you are one of the leading person who has, from the childhood, who is involved in the sports, and still you are actively involved in the sports. You are the one person who was, during the IPL, you were there for the whole IPL session in UAE, was the entire, all the matches there as the governing body member of the IPL, you were there. So definitely your motivational and inspirational talk, which you are going to say now, will be very much encouraging to the youths who are participating here or who are viewing our show today. Mr. Surinder Khanna, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Mr. Khanna, no, please, you have to unmute yourself. No, Mr. Khanna, no, you have to unmute. There is a sign of speaker. You have to just press that, touch it. Where it is written mute, you have to. No, it has not yet been done. No, you have to do from your side only. Yes, it is done now. Yes, yes, please. So, Mr. Role of youth in sports, Mr. Surinder Khanna, please.
Well, good morning. Hello to everyone who is participating at the moment and all those who will watch it later. A very cold morning from Delhi. Well, this is quite an important and very interesting topic. The youth has been talked about by our Honorable Prime Minister as well, that India has probably 65% of the youth of the world in India. And the coming decade or so, they have to take the country forward, and participation in various fields, activities, sporting as well as political or scientific, defense, any area. I'm proud to say the youth of the country, India, are actively participating in it. And the courage, the conviction which they show, thanks to the technology, despite the pandemic hitting the entire world, So many lives are being lost, but the enthusiasm of Indian youth is commendable. Tomorrow we'll have the 26th January parade, which is not going to be a full parade, but participation of our young boys and girls will be visible in that as well. Recently, I think a couple of weeks back, it was an all-women team which flew 17 hours non-stop, and it was commanded by all the four women. So women empowerment is also there, and all these things uh, enhances our morale at this age as well. And we feel very proud of our young boys and girls, women, doing wonders for the country. And sports, because I actually actively pursued since my college days. School, I was a science student. I wanted to become an engineer, but then I fell in love with cricket. Joined Hindu College, one of the finest colleges in the country, and I captained the college team in the final year. Played for the college, university, then under 22 Ranji Trophy, Dulip Trophy, and then for the country in the World Cup, Asia Cup. And for 14, 15 years, I played first class cricket as well for Delhi and North Zone. And myself, Kapil Dev, we were very young when we came into the team for the World Cup. Karsan Ghavri as well. Three of us were earmarked to do wonders for the country. Unfortunately, I didn't had a great World Cup and the series in England, but Kapil and Karsan carried on for many, many years. And then I got a chance to come back after 4 or 5 years in 84 in Sharjah, where I excelled and became man of the tournament. I also got an opportunity through my friend Vinod in London, and I got a contract to play in Stuarts Melville and Kirkstoffen Cricket Club in Edinburgh, Scotland, where I made many friends, and the conditions were very difficult over there. The pitches were wet, and we hardly get to see the sun over there. But wherever there is degree of difficulty, it brings out the real character in you. And I adapted to the situation and the conditions over there. And in one season, I scored at an average of nearly 92, which probably uh, is one of the finest, in my career, cricketing career. Uh, Apart from personal glories, whatever, when you play for a long, long time, you're bound to achieve certain landmarks. That should inspire some of the people, those who come in close contact with you, that with personal examples, like in my time, the heroes were Farooq Engineer, Bishan Singh Bedi, Sunil Gavaskar in cricket, then Ajit Pal Singh in hockey, Ashok Dhyanchand, Zafar Iqbal, and many hockey players, because hockey is our national game. And we used to think when watching them practice and play for the country, win the Olympic and the World Gold Cup, World Gold Medal, we used to feel proud and also feel that if one day I personally, as a youngster, get an opportunity to represent my state, my country, I should also emulate them. And I'm fortunate that our captain Bishan Singh Bedi, I was very lucky to play in the company of Mohinder Ramannath, Surendra Ramannath, Chetan Chauhan. He's no more. We lost him very recently. He was my opening partner. And Madan Lal and many cricketers, who were doing very well for India at that time. And I got a chance to play alongside them, be in the dressing room with the likes of Gavaskar, Gundappa Vishwanath, one of the finest human beings and batsmen India has produced, Colonel Vengsaka, Karsun Ghavri, B.S. Chandrasekhar, one of the finest leg spin googly bowlers, match winner on his day. Many others, Brijesh Patel, Kirmani, so many of them. If I miss any name, it's no disrespect to them. We looked up to them. The present generation look up to Kohli, Pujara, Rehane, Dhoni, etc. Tendulkar, and all these superstars in cricket. The young people, they get motivated by looking at them and the exploits and the performances. See how India defeated Australia in Australia. After being skittled out for 36, they rose from that, and with Virat Kohli back for parental duty, Indian team won a series in Australia. We've won many others in the past, but this one in the recent past, I haven't seen something like this. I feel really proud the way Indian cricketers was in the last two matches. Many of our main players were not there. Excuse me. Many of our star players were either injured or not fully fit, but some of the net bowlers like Natarajan, Washington Sundar, they got opportunity to play. Siraj, what a find. They all excelled like seasoned campaigners for India and helped Indian team. From that point, 36 all out, like last time we got out for 42, it was in the year 74, I believe, or 73. And after that, this 36 will hound us for many, many years to come. But the Indian boys showed character, and Shardul Thakur and all these young guys, Rishabh Pant, they all got together. And of course, the coach and the captain, Rehane, Ravi Shastri, they need to be complimented, the entire support staff as well. Because the pandemic situation, then all the people are injured, keeping all these problems behind, and then winning a series in Australia after losing the first test match and being out for 36. Since I've played at that level, I can imagine and understand what the situation would have been, what the state of mind must have been of our Indian cricketers. Even the die-hard supporters desert you, but I didn't. I spoke to Ravi when we got out for 36, and I said, I still have faith and confidence, and this Australian team is not that great. So if you can get the boys together, give them a pep talk, कि इससे ज्यादा नीचे नहीं जा सकते हम 36 पे आउट हो गए सारी वर्ल्ड ह्यूमिलिएट कर रही है हमें अब यहाँ से उठना है ये कैरेक्टर दिखाना पड़ेगा and you've been a senior cricketer yourself we have played together give them a pep talk I'm backing you many of people like me who have played are backing you and we have faith in you and they did wonders they proved me right I'd given an interview on radio and I said this Australian team is not that strong इनकी बैटिंग में केवल दो जने हैं लबुशेन एंड स्टीव स्मिथ और हमारी बैटिंग में 6 बैट्समैन हैं we can beat them if we gel together if we put our minds together and we work as a unit because unity is strength and the youth exuberance when it comes in if the energy is channelized and controlled in a manner you always produce this kind of results and that's what happened I had predicted it came true it gave me the satisfaction that I could read the game and the situation pretty well even now after being retired from active cricket for the last 25, 30 years so if I can still read the game which is being played far away on pitches where I can't be on the ground and seeing the talent and the uh, ability of our young boys. So that was very heartening in the recent past. Now we have the England team, which will be touring India. We can't have the spectators on the ground like they did in Australia. Australia has controlled the pandemic very well, and that's why they could allow the spectators to come and visit. But in India, unfortunately, the vaccination is on, like in many parts, many countries in the world, to strengthen our immune system. But still, in no way the authorities are allowing spectators on the ground. The teams will be in bio bubble and they will have to adhere to the regulation, the SOPs, which are formed for keeping everything in order. And coming to the youth once again, uh, whatever you want to do, decide what's your passion. Whatever your passion is, tell your parents early on in your life and then pursue that passion like I wanted to be an engineer. I'll give you my example. And I told my dad that I'm in love with cricket and I'll work hard in cricket and I'll achieve something in cricket. Please allow me to pursue this. It wasn't an easy decision for our parent from science to political science and economics, which I just took so that I can work hard in cricket for 8, 10 hours every day. And then maybe in the last 1 week, study political science, economics, Hindi, English, and just give my exams and clear my graduation. At that time, my aim became playing for the country. And when I used to discuss this with few of my close friends, cricketers, who were far better than me, they used to laugh. Are tu kaise khelega? So you will also face that kind of situation, but take that in your stride. Let that laugh at you uh, encourage you, and you can have strong determination to prove your friends wrong and pursue your passion, which could be singing, which could be science, which could be IT, which could be dancing, or whatever you want to do, or medicine, or being an engineer, or whatever. Like I chose to be a cricketer and I played at the highest level. You can understand that only 400 people have represented India in the last 74, 75 years. I'm one of them. It's a country of 140 million. आप सोचो कि 140 करोड़ के थे. I'm 64 today, and many of my contemporaries, people don't know where they are. I'm still relevant. So this is because of cricket that I played for the country. I won the Asia Cup for the country. And last IPL, I was there on the governing council. Now I'm not there. They have replaced me. Doesn't matter. Show must go on. So whatever you want to do in life, decide early and pursue it. कि सोते जागते, you should see dreams. Seeing your dreams is very important for every youngster. And then work hard. There is a phrase, let your work make noise. You don't have to speak yourself. So in cricket, I always tell my students at the academy, let your performances do the talking. Let your batting, your bowling, your wicket keeping, your fielding do the talking. Not that मैं ये कर दूंगा, मैं वो कर दूंगा, मैं ये उखाड़ दूंगा. That has no meaning. And keep on having the consistency of performing every second day, every third day. If you do it once and then for 2 weeks there is no great performance, people will not notice you. So you have to do it very often. Like in singing, we see so many big names. Why they are there? Because every day, every concert, when you listen to them, they do so much of riyaz, they do so much of hard work. They get up at 3, 4 in the morning when everyone is sleeping, whether it's cold, it's raining, or whatever the weather is. But they go about their riyaz every morning, and then Ma Saraswati blessings they require, and they perform when they are on the stage. That's how they attain that level, like Lata Mangeshkar ji, Asha Bhonsle, Rafi Saab, those who are not there, but still their songs and thrill. 50-60 साल पुराना गाना भी आज भी हम सुनते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि जीवित है गाना, म्यूजिक जिन्होंने दिया है. सो वट एवर यू डू इट विद ऑल योर सोल, हार्ट, माइंड, सोल. जैसे माँ की कुकिंग है. आई give you an example. There are girls also in the program, and boys are excellent chef too these days. My mother used to do cooking. My bhabis, my chachis, my sisters, my every lady in the house used to cook. But I always used to like the cooking which was done by my mother. My grandmom used to cook as well for me when I was young. But maa ki cooking was the best because she is the only person in the entire world, universe, who doesn't expect anything from you in return. She doesn't expect. And she cooks by putting her soul into what she is making for you. कि मेरा बेटा बहुत मेहनत कर रहा है. My son, my daughter is working very hard. 20-20 घंटे पढ़ रहे हैं, 20-20 घंटे, दो शिफ्ट जो है मेहनत कर रहे हैं, प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. They're working so hard, and she does with all her soul, and that's why that food is so tasty. So if same feelings you can put in your passion, in your studies, in whatever you have decided to become, you will attain the same results like your mother's cooking. I did that in my life, and I'm successful. I'm addressing you guys. I'm doing it with all sincerity. It is coming from the heart, and I'm sure this will touch your heart too. And if few of you can take little bit of what I'm trying to reach out to you, you will also do wonders in your area of work and in your life. In the 10, 15, 20 years to come, you will be on a program with Lal Saab because he's going to live for 150 years. You will be the chief guest on his program. He won't pay. He won't pay even after that long. But it's worth being on a program with him because he does it with all the passion every day, every morning. It's not easy. It gets monotonous after a while. So you have to uh, have a schedule. You have to have a regimen where whatever you are pursuing doesn't get monotonous. And every morning when you get up, you're going through your area of work with the same zeal, same intensity, and from the heart. And you can only do that when you love what you are doing. And I'm so fortunate that I chose cricket. It's my passion. And I never felt that I feel out of place or I don't like going to the ground, getting up at 5 in the morning, go for my jog, my run, play badminton, play table tennis, do all kinds of sports, and then go for cricket. Even today, I am feeling the cold, but if I get a phone call that I have to come to the ground somewhere, I'll be ready in 5 minutes and on the road. That's the passion I still carry. I'm a romantic with cricket. Well, I can only say from my experience that you be a romantic with whatever you do. जैसे लड़की पटाने के लिए I'll make it a little humorous, don't get me wrong, कि आप भी वो काम शुरू कर दो. काम ऐसा करो कि वो अपने आप चल के आए. काम ऐसा करो कि opposite sex attracts. और inferiority complex नहीं होना चाहिए. Confidence इतना होना चाहिए कि over confidence ना बन जाए, arrogance ना बन जाए. So whatever you want to do, put 100% in it and rest leave it to the God. Destiny will take you where what God has written before you were born. And hard work never goes unrewarded. That's what I teach my tell my young friends wherever I get an opportunity. In our days, there was a phrase, खेलोगे कूदोगे होगे खराब, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब. So when I in my school during one of my science classes, my mathematics teacher, he's no more now, Mr. Kaushal. He was a wonderful human being. And I was very fortunate to have great faculty in a government school in Shakti Nagar number 1, Delhi. And they all wanted me to be clear my exam with a first division. My principal, late Shri R.C. Pathak, he was a great disciplinarian. When I told my teacher, he said, it was an afternoon school, 1:30. Our school used to start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30. So that was the time for me to go to Kotla Firosha for my Delhi school's practice. For 2-3 months, I didn't attend the classes. And one day when I was there, Mr. Kaushal asked, who is this gentleman? He was writing on the blackboard and he said, from the left side, third gentleman on the last bench. I was a backbencher. I never sat in the front because I used to slip out of the class to catch my bus at 2 o'clock to reach Kotla Firosha at 2:45. 3 o'clock used to be my practice. So when he mentioned this, so I looked around. It was me only he was referring to. So I stood up. He said, "You've come to the class for the first time. I haven't seen you for 2, 3 months." And I never believed in telling a lie. That's another thing I would like to mention it to you. If you tell one lie, to cover up that, you'll have to speak 100 more lies. So always have the guts and the courage to speak the truth. So it was a very tense situation for me, and I knew I could be expelled also for not attending for 3 months, but managing to attend the first class and the last class without taking permission. And in the early morning, I used to complete my copybook work, homework, and submit my books for evaluation, and my books were up to date. He said, "Your copy is complete, but I'm seeing you for the first time in the last 2.5, 3 months." So I said, "Yes, I've been going for practice and at Kotla Firosha, and I'm in the Delhi schools team." So he said, "Arey, tum Lala Amarnath Nawab Pataudi banoge." So he ridiculed me, sort of, in front of my classmates. It wasn't a very happy situation, but I had to face it. Can you imagine? That was the year 72. And 78, 79, I played the World Cup for India in England. And when I came back in September, I got an invite from the school that they want me in school for a cup of tea, which I readily accepted. And when I reached the school on the designated date, Mr. Kaushal was there and he was clapping for me, and his eyes were moist. And I went and touched his feet and I said, "It's because of you I was able to get first division in my science subjects. And I also represented the country because आपने कहा था कि तू बेटा नवाब पटौडी लाला अमरनाथ बनेगा." उस समय बुरा तो लगा था सर, मैं ये तो नहीं कहूंगा कि बुरा नहीं लगा था, लेकिन मैंने उसको एक चैलेंज समझ के एक्सेप्ट किया कि मैं आपको बन के दिखाऊंगा. एंड माय प्रिंसिपल सेड, "You will spoil my result." And in front of his office, there was a board on which our merit uh, students' names were there. So I told my principal at that time in 72, "Sir, I'm representing North Zone schools and I might come into the Indian schools." तो पूरे हिंदुस्तान के स्कूल्स में अगर मैं सेलेक्ट हो जाऊं, या पूरे नॉर्थ जोन में जहां मैं सेलेक्ट हुआ हूं, वी हैड गॉन टू प्ले कैलकाटा, कपिल देव, अशोक मल्होत्रा, इमैनुअल बेंजामिन, राजेंद्र अमरनाथ, मेनी प्लेयर्स वर देयर. 72 की बात कर रहा हूं मैं, 1972. So I said, "Why don't you have my name on the notice board that I have done the school proud?" But वो बहुत ज्यादा पाठक साहब जो है और टीचर्स उस समय उस जमाने में, इवन पेरेंट्स, the emphasis was on studies. They wanted us to become doctor, engineer, or whatever. Nobody encouraged us in sports. It was an extracurricular activity, which even today, in many of our schools, it's like that. But coming back to my principal and my teachers, उन सब की नजरें झुकी हुई थी, and I didn't like that. So I gave them the credit that they were so pushy for me to clear my exams as a first divisioner, get into a good college, pursue higher studies, and in a government school. Can you imagine? 10 rupees fees thi. And we had that faculty, that kind of teachers who loved us, who thought about us कि हम अच्छे स्टूडेंट बने, अच्छी पढ़ाई करके अच्छे नंबर लेके जाए. आज तो जो है ऐसा सिस्टम चल पड़ा है that they want you to take extra classes and pay them money. They don't teach anything in the class. You have to take special classes. Your parents have to pay extra money. We had no money, 10 rupee fee. That's it. And then to listen to the ridicule. लाला अमरनाथ बनोगे, पटौडी बनोगे. मगर सर कुछ तो बनेंगे, कोशिश करेंगे. क्योंकि without effort, without sincere effort, without the right kind of efforts, you cannot achieve results. You can't reach anywhere in life. And all those teachers felt so great. I gave them the credit. You can't prove a point and have your teacher or your father or your uncles in some kind of a terrible situation where they have to apologize. Never do that. And I never wanted that. I still touch their feet even today after so many years. Many of them are not there, but I still thank them. Learn to thank your parents as well, who go through hell to make life comfortable for you. Think about, will you be able to do that? So, my advice to all you guys, the youth of the country, boys and girls, pursue your passion with all the vigor, with all the heart and soul, and never ever worry about the result. Results will come. Right kind of practice. There was a phrase, practice makes a man perfect. I corrected it a little bit. Correct practice brings in the correct results. जैसे पेट में दर्द है और डॉक्टर ने गोली सिर दर्द की दे दी तो पेट का दर्द नहीं जाएगा. So whatever you are pursuing, listen to your coach, your teacher, ask him questions many times. Don't hesitate. Don't be an introvert and work hard. The correct practice only will bring in the correct results. And do it with all the heart, all your soul. And I wish all of you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Surendra Khanna, for giving such an inspirational, motivational talk today. I am sure all the youths who are listening here, either they are in, who are present in the conference, or those who are viewing our show, going to get lots of inspiration from you today, because you have enlightened everything. You have given the details how you have started your life and how you have achieved and how big you have become, but still so humble. And you have asked all the youths to be humble and give respect to the elders. That is a very, very great thing, and how they should pursue their sports. Thank you very much, Mr. Khanna. Because of the paucity of time, I will not summarize what you have said, although everyone will have understood, because you have spoken today from heart. And once anything spoken from the heart, it goes to the heart. Thank you very much, Mr. Khanna, once again. Now, I would like to invite my first youth guest, and she is Miss Divya Shri P. Miss Divya Shri, please unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and speak on the topic, role of youth in sports, for 5 minutes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. My name is Divyashree, and currently I'm pursuing my master's in physical education from Maharashtra College of Physical Education.
Miss Divya, your head is up. Please bring the head down. Yes, please. Now, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I visible, sir?
Yes. Now go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Divyashree, currently pursuing my master's in physical education from Maharashtra College of Physical Education, and basically I'm into the field of sports from last 10 years, so that I feel like the sports made my lethargic mind into an active mind. So the sport is something which gives us a good platform to show what we are. And there are a lot of people who think like sports is the only thing where we perform, we'll get a medal, or we'll get a certificate, or we'll get some cash prize. That is what the people think about sports. Actually, that is not. I think that is completely wrong, because there are certain things that get in sports apart from these medal certificates and trophies and all. We can, if we are in the right path of the sport, we can achieve a lot of things apart from the physical activities. That we can improve our we can improve our mentality, and we can we can get strong. We can be very confidential. We can be improve our we can develop our leadership mind. We can improve our team quality. We can improve physically and as well as mentally, psychologically, and physiologically. Actually, sports is not a field where we can perform only physical activity. When we practicing a particular skill or technique, along with that, we are improving ourselves, our body functions also, which will be with us for a life. So I don't think that people are not aware of, not everyone, but there are people who are aware about the income which we get from sports. So that's a lack of that uh, knowledge about the income of we get from the sports. There are a lot of youth who didn't getting any chance to perform their talent and perform what they are, because the parents and the teachers and the society what they think is sports is just a activity where we can entertain ourselves, we can take entertain ourselves. That's only what they're thinking. Actually, there is even in the education field also, there are students who is belong to sports are achieve a good mark. See, teachers are not everyone, but there are teachers who is not supporting their students to get into sports, because what they think is sports is the field where we get much and we get some injuries. We can just to get out. That's what they think, but they didn't think the positive side of sports. And there are a lot of students, there are a lot of athletes still now, till this era, there are students who are not getting proper facilities, proper chance, or not getting any chance to perform their ability. There are very talented students in this new generation, but they are not getting proper platform to show what they are. So, and personally, I can tell from the last 10 years experience in the field of sports, I'm completely changed in physically, mentally, even emotionally and psychologically and physiologically, only because I am into the field of sports. So when I can proudly say that I am in the field of sports, and I can manage everything. I can manage everything without any hesitation. It's only because of sports. Because sports gives us it makes us very confident. It makes us to face the people. It makes us face the situation and make the situation clear to us, and it makes us to be uh, present in the situation. It may make us pull back, it makes us to be active in the situation, active in the present situation. And we all know youth are the great asset of the nation, and they are the nation leaders. They are they are the indeed of the nation too, and they show they represent their country in different levels and such in sports. And there are a lot of athletes and youth individual athletes who make their country proud in different levels like state, national, and even international level. So that, but the fact is they didn't get the importance. They didn't get facilities that actually they want. Their performance in any event, that's the end of that. I'm not talking about the elite athletes, but the basic athletes. There are athletes, there are players who want to show their talent, but they didn't getting any proper platform to show, because there are like partiality in every field, such as sports. But I hope it will be changed in this in the new year from now. As of now, I think it will be changed, because there are a lot of new rules that coming from this year, and even in the COVID pandemic also, and there are a lot of.
Please be brief.
Sir.
Please
Okay.
conclude.
Okay. hope all the us will get equal importance in all their respective fields, and they will get. And we are the ones who have to foster them and who have to foster their talent. And I hope we can make them make we can foster their talent. And I would like to conclude with this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Divya Shri. And one thing which we have mentioned, that the schools or colleges should support the students
Yes.
who are pursuing for the sports. As our chief guest, Mr. Surinder Khanna, mentioned that how he was discouraged, but that he took it as inspirational for that, and he took a that he bought that I will prove them wrong, and that is also a motivational thing. You are
Yes.
lucky that you are associated or you are in a college which is a university champion. Alvas College, Murbitri is university, all India university champions for last so many years. And the sports is a very great thing in your college. So I'm sure
Yes.
that you will not get that type of discouragement. But still,
No.
if anybody discourage, you must, as our chief guest, Mr. Surinder Khanna said, take a motivational thing and prove them wrong. But side by side, studies should be good. Like he stood first, you all should stood first in the if you are pursuing classes also. Thank you very much, Ms. Divya Shri. Now I would like to move to my next youth guest. The next youth guest is E. Ponmati. Please unmute yourself. You have heard our chief guest, Mr. Surender Khanna, and earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in sports. E. Ponmati, please.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். So good morning to one and all. Um, I'm Ponmati and I'm a graduate, and I'm currently pursuing physical education in Advanced College of Physical Education, Mangalore. So I would like, it's honor to talk in front of our chief guest, Mr. Surinder Khanna, a former cricketer. So my topic is about the role of youth in a sports. The every experts wants a beginner. So sports is a universal shared human culture. It teaches us a discipline. It improves the physical health, and the mental health is the most obvious benefit. So you can learn the importance of the teamwork and the leadership quality. It gives an opportunity for youth to learn the practice the field for a life. So learning to work as a team, the young children, they can learn the social skill as well as. And the sports is society can even influence our understanding of a gender roles and the social economical issues. So people thinks that sports is only a physical activity, but it's not like that. It's the most important thing that sport teaches that psychologically trains a person. In my personally, I felt I have lost a lot of matches. I was lost a lot of things in my life, but personally I was psychologically I was ready for whatever the situation is, wherever and wherever the situation is. It taught me to achieve my goal, to go through my goals. I know what's my goal is. So sports teach me that. And especially the discipline, disciplines where the more of about the knowledge we get from the sports is discipline. So the sports is a great diverse, being a woman. So it is a sport is a great diverse of gender equality. So India, like a traditional living country, there is a lack of women sports persons in our country. So nowadays the thing is changing. The gap between men and women are changing compared to the history of sports women's. Now it's bit changing, but there's still the lack of the women players, or women coaches, or women women officers or lack in our country. So I wish that it should be, we should promote the women to play sports. So parents and the institutions thinks that the sports is the only things of unnecessary things. It's only type of the physical activities. So I guess that's not a true. We should explore our sports activities, and as well as we should achieve them. The only goal we can achieve through sports is not only is getting medal, or getting the team sports and whatever it is. It's only thing we can psychologically prepare that leads to our life, it's a good manner. We can live genuinely, and the discipline discipline in a sports is very important to us. So it teaches the discipline as well as it provides the young peoples to learn the skills and take the risk and achieve their goals, the self motivation, and psychologically the whatever situation they can handle, it occurs through sports. Like Ronnie Cott says, if you can believe it, the mind has to achieve it. So thanks for this opportunity to given by to me. It's very thank you and Andrew.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ponumati, for giving your views. And you have mentioned about the women players. Yes, India is, although many sports have opened and everywhere the women are doing very well. And especially to encourage one Bollywood movie, Chak De India, was made. And it has given a very good moral boost up for all the women players. And it depends on you and how you are going to play. I will just tell you, my mother, when she did her MSc chemistry in 1948, she was a gold medalist, but she was also a state champion. Almost all the games, whether badminton or hockey or kho-kho or swimming or even running and this thing. So it's not like this. I'm talking of 1948 time. At that time also, women were participating everywhere. Still, they are participating. It all depends. Now the time is changing fast. So if you all will come forward, definitely India will also be the world champion in all the other sports also, like what we are doing in men's cricket. Thank you very much, Ms. Ponmati, for giving your views. Now I would like to go to my next youth guest, and she's Miss Lavita Snehal D'Souza. Miss Lavita, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Surinder Khanna. You have heard the earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in sports. First, you introduce yourself and then tell about your views. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Snehal talking on behalf of Roshni Nilaya College. So we celebrate Sports Day on August 29th. And as far as my point of view, sports is really part of, like, it's a very important thing in our life. And when we compete, losing and winning is part of our, winning and losing is part. So anyone shouldn't get discouraged if they lose, because all what you have to do is you have to enjoy while you're playing sports. And when we engage ourselves in sports, we young people avoid substance abuse, because these days a lot of youth are getting into substance abuse and drugs and smoking. So all what I say is, when you get into sports and if you do regularly exercise, you don't feel like taking you don't feel like taking drugs or smoking, because people take this, like youth, they take this for pleasure, or maybe because they want to get away from stress. So these are the things why they take drugs and smoking. So exercise, regular exercise, do a lot of good things to your body. It helps your cognition, it helps your physical growth, it helps your mental growth, it helps even your psychological growth. And when it comes to team sports, like there are a lot of sports which we play in team, like cricket, kabaddi, then yeah, there are a lot more. So we develop team spirit and teamwork. We learn to organize, and we learn to, yeah, we learn to be friends. We make new friends. So that is another thing in sports. As we make new friends, new contacts, we go up further, and we grow healthier, like when we do exercise and when we get into sports. So, and depression and anxiety is also another problem these days youth face. So depression has become really common these days. So everyone should get into sports. Like, it becomes important for a youth to participate in sports. There are a lot of opportunities in colleges these days. And because of lockdown, yes, because of lockdown, we have lost a lot of competition. We couldn't go for many. But if there was no lockdown or COVID, there are a lot of sports competitions going on every month, something or the other. It might be kabaddi one month, then it might be running, or it might be weightlifting and all those things. So there are a lot of benefits when you do exercise or when you do sports. So if you are into sports, exercise, regular exercise is a must. And it's not important if you are into sports or not. It's important that you are consistent with it. And everyone has to wake up early in the morning. Sorry, even if you do exercise in the evening, is also a lot more beneficial. So regular physical activity benefits health in many ways. So it helps your heart rate. It helps your even obesity. People who are obese, it's not necessary for them to run. Even walking, fast walking can help a lot. They might lose weight through that. And like right now, we have noticed because of technology, a lot of children are not do not engage much in sports. They are so into technology and online games, and yeah, because of all that, they forget about the outdoor games. So we need to encourage our children to get into outdoor sports also. And then organizational sports activity helps children develop and improve cognitive skills. Yeah, like I said, cognition also gets improved when you get into sports. And high school athletes are more likely than non-athletes to attend college. Yeah. So another reason why there are more, like the one who are into sports, they attend college regularly, and the one who are not, they might take leave, a lot of leaves, because us for athletes like us and the sports people like us, sports is the main reason which makes us to come to college. And when we win medals, when we win trophies and all for college, it makes ourselves proud, even the college proud. And even
Please
when
be
we walk,
brief.
yeah. So all what I want to say is everyone should come into sports, and no matter what it is, you just need to enjoy it. Winning and losing is part of sports. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lavita. And you have mainly emphasized that the sports can keep you away from the vices like drugs or smoking, etc. You have heard our chief guest. What he said is that out of 400 people for last so many years, he is one of them who represented India. How proud moment for him. If he would have been also involved in those vices, you would have not seen him today here and preaching you all. This is what, if you all youth just think of, we are just thinking how great is Virat Kohli or Sunil Gavaskar or Mr. Khanna or whoever, but we have not thought what hard work they have done. If you all will, if they would have gone in the vices of drinking, smoking or drugs, etc., they would have not been on the map of where they are today. So that is why what you have said is very right, that sports keep you away, but take the sports properly, never be disheartened whether you lose or win. You can rebound again, and that's the sports man's spirit. Thank you very much, Ms. Lavita, for giving your views. Now I would like to call upon my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Palash Sharma. Mr. Palash Sharma, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Surinder Khanna, and your earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in sports. Please introduce yourself and give your views. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lal. My name is Palash. I'm a student counselor, and I had been working with a lot of students who want to take up their career not just in sports but also in sports health. So,
Mr. Sharma, can you just tell us where are you, in which city you are?
I'm from Noida.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, so basically, I had been working with a lot of students, a lot of youngsters, and I'm seeing basically the uh, energy and the perseverance to pursue sports have increased over a period. Since 1999, when I was a kid, since then till 2011, I've seen less number of people coming up and taking sport as a full-time career. But since 2011, there's a total difference in the Y generation that has been from Y generation to Z generation, and youngsters, the youth are more enthusiastic about taking sports as their career. And one of the major reason what I think is social media. Due to the introduction of social media, especially Instagram and Facebook, uh, the youth is getting more aware about sports, and they're getting more motivated about how their neighbor or someone from their city is getting all the enlightenment, as Surender ji mentioned today. How proud he feels being a part of within 400 Indians out of 1.5 billion Indians. So that is one of the most motivating factor that plays. Seeing your friends, your colleagues, your acquaintances getting recognitions in different sports, different fields. Just an example, look at to the current Indian team, which is full of all the young talent that came not just from tier 1 cities but also from tier 2 cities, such as Rajkot. So there are so all in the current Indian team, if we see this players like Rishabh Pant, players like Mohammad Siraj, who's the youngest player. So they have dedicated their lot of time playing Ranji, playing domestic cricket to get that particular platform. And as I was talking about social media, so IPL is one of the biggest leading ground to highlight these players and bring them up, bring these talent coming from different tier 2 tier 1 cities for Indian cricket team. Now through IPL there were a lot of videos which I've seen, like floating around on Instagram, on Facebook, for Rishabh Pant, for GK Rahane, for Rohit Sharma, which actually had promoted a lot of enthusiasm across the youth, and which had actually motivated each and every youngster to take sports as a full-time career. And as I mentioned, youth are not just enthusiasts taking sports as full-time career, but also sport health is something becoming very popular among the youth. They are knowing more basic about how the body functions, what are the muscles, what are the joints, pinnacles, how things go around, and this is becoming one of the leading field across the globe as a full-time career. So like according to me, I've been a football enthusiast and a football sports person during my college and my school time. I personally feel that sports should be a continuous part of your daily routine, and you should do something which can actually not just help you to stay fit, but also bust your stress, the daily stress that you gain across in a daily grind. So I would like to conclude and thank you, Mr. Lal, for giving me such opportunity to be in front of all my youth colleagues, and especially in front of our famous Surender Khanna ji. So thank you, Mr. Lal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palash Sharma, for giving your views. Yes, you rightly said about the social media, because there are so many reports. People always criticize about the social media. It says you have to see which side of coin you want to see. And you rightly said, if you are positive for the social media, if you are taking good things from social media, one can be motivated. And that's what happened in sports, which you rightly said that because of the IPL and because of the social media, people have started getting more attracted. Just think of the time when Mr. Khanna has started, or before that, uh, there were no social media, but they were quite dedicated. But right now, yes, if youth will utilize the social media in a proper way, try to get the positive things from the social media, they can achieve whatsoever they want. They can learn sports even sitting at their home during the COVID-19. That is also there in the social media. So thank you very much, Mr. Palash Sharma, for giving your views. Now I would like to go to my next youth guest, and she is Miss Shibana Banu Abdul Kani. Ms. Shibana Banu Abdul Kani, you have already heard our chief guest, Mr. Surinder Khanna. You have already heard the earlier youth guest who have spoken. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in sports. First, you introduce yourself. Please unmute, introduce yourself and speak, please. Thank you.
A warm welcome and a fresh morning to everyone gathered here. My name is Shibana Banu Abdul Kani. I'm doing my UG program in Al Azhar College, Torbula. I'm glad to have this opportunity, and special regards to Lal Goel sir and inspiration for the youth from Surender Khanna sir. I'm happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much for such an opportunity. So let's talk about youth. Let's talk about role of youth in sports. Talking about sports and youth sports. Sports are all forms of commonly organized physical activity that seeks to use, retain, or develop physical abilities and skills through casual or coordinator participation while providing entertainment to participants. The term youth sports refers to any sports events where competitors are younger than adult age, whether children or adolescents. Youth sports including primary and secondary school sports, as well as sports whether casual or organized, play outside the education system. Sports play an important role in improving physical and mental health and inspiration, active membership, and social inclusion. There's evidence that sports and play enhance child development, learning, and encourage better academic performance. Youth participation in team sports encourage fitness, wellness, create trust, and can maintain mental health. Studies have also demonstrated decreased risk of substance use, including alcohol use, smoking, vamping, and illegal drugs use in young people who play sports against those who don't. Sports is an opportunity for children and young people to learn. It provides a practical field for life. For example, learning to work as a team teaches youth social skills that will help them to grow as human, not as athletes. Youth participation in sports can develop teamwork, leadership, self-confidence, self-discipline, and coping skills. Experts agree that engaging in youth sports teaches teamwork, social skill, good behavior, self-discipline, team spirit, and listening, all of which are vital value as one's progress into adulthood. Youth sports are excellent opportunity for youth athletes to become involved. Experts also claim that participation in youth sports creates self-esteem and trust and have a positive impact on youth sports. Some athletes can experience a loss in flexibility, coordination, and balance during the teenage years, which does not only raise the risk of injury but also affects the success of sports, putting more tension, anxiety, and social pressure on the young athletes and have a negative impact on youth sports. Gender affects participation in youth sports by age 14. Boys are twice as active as girls. There are many reasons why some girls rarely participate in sports and physical activity. Discrimination, others males, medias, devalue female sports and activity, low self-esteem, awareness of image, lack of confidence, embarrassment. When it's come to nation building, the sports has a major part to play, and the same is evident from the following. In the psychology of a country, it stimulates skills such as commitment, dedication, teamwork, and enthusiasm for fitness. For the youth strategy adopted by the government, decided has dedicated a pillar to youth health and well-being, including a specific objectives to promote and sports, youth fitness, physical activity among young people. A separate strategy on youth sports, fitness, and physical activity, as such as does not exist in Romania. Sports can contribute significantly to international, national, and local efforts to provide children with a healthy start. It can also those who have not gotten a good start and equip young people with requisite knowledge, skills, personal and social resource, and encouragement to successful make a critical life changes. We see a lot of success story in sports with athletes doing brilliantly and learning a name for themselves. But it's a story of a sportsman turning around failure into success that has a real flavor and something one can take inspiration from. MS Dhoni, a 20-year MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni came to Kharagpur in search of job and worked as a ticket counter for 3 years. Despite showing great tendency toward cricket, it wasn't all easy for him. He did well for the India side and was drafted in. But then again, his sailing was rough and with the doubt of him not featuring in the coming games, he turned it around with his determination and spirit. And what we have seen him was as future India captain. Sports build good social connection and better environment are usually healthier and happier for those who live in them than places where physical fitness is not a focus. Sports create youth to be stronger, healthier, happier, and safer. Sports is merging today as an important aspect of country's socio-economic growth. Active participation in sports increase the health and productivity of society. Lower medical costs reflects character, discipline, great leadership, and improve social stability. Therefore, sports inevitable part of life. It's a nation builder and need more support in the field of sports. Youth is essence for sports. Getting young people to engage in sports provide them with the essential experience that can be used later in life to a great advantage. In sports, with the achievement and victory, humiliation, disappointment, loss, once come to face with the realities of life. Role of youth in sports helps youth to become better contributors to society. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shibana Banu Abdul Kani, for giving your views. Yes, you are right. The sports plays a very important role, even for the career of youth, because once you undergo with the success and failure in the sports, you know how to deal with it. And once you become, will be either doing a professional job or manager or owning your own company or any profession, you will this quality of a youth plays a very, very important role at that time, because you know how to deal with the situation, even if there is some urgency, emergency, or success or failure, one has to deal. And that is why they say the sports is very, very important. And you are rightly said that sports can play a very, very important role. Thank you very much, Ms. Shibana Banu Abdul Kani. Now I would like to go to my last youth guest, and she is Ms. Sri Lakshmi Haridas. Ms. Sri Lakshmi Haridas, are you there? Please switch on your video. We can't see you. Ms. Sri Lakshmi Haridas, please unmute yourself. Ms. Sri Lakshmi? No, I think she's not there. She was there till now, but some technical or problem. In case if you join, please join again. No problem. Just we will see if we will have time. Now I would like to go back to my chief guest, Mr. Khanna. Mr. Khanna, you have heard all the youths today, their views and how enthused they are for the sports as well as for cricket. So we would like to know from you now your concluding motivational and inspirational, again I will say, because you all, whenever you speak, you inspire. And I can tell you, all the youths who are watching this show, Mr. Khanna is such a person. Whenever I talk to him, I feel inspired from him. He wakes up very early in the morning, and he's have a very fixed, healthy routine. And that's why he keep himself fit. And one should try to follow such type of people who are very well disciplined. And that is the quality of Mr. Khanna. And we must We are thankful. I can see Miss Sri Lakshmi there. Can you unmute yourself, Miss Sri Lakshmi? Miss Sri Lakshmi, can you unmute? Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry, I lost my connection.
No, your net is very weak, Miss Sri Lakshmi. Just try to speak something, whatsoever you want to, because time is short. Yes,
yeah.
please. Go ahead. Role of youth in sports, Miss Sri Lakshmi.
Okay.
Vedas, please.
Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Just introduce yourself and speak.
Sure. Okay, sir. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Sri Lakshmi Hardos. I'm an 11th grade student of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Portur, Thrissur, Kerala. I feel really honored to be here speaking in front of such an eminent player, Mr. Surinder Khanna, the chief editor of Global TV, Lal Goel, sir. Thank you so much for giving me such a great opportunity. So I would like to start with a quote. Sports are such a great teacher. I think of everything they've taught me. Camaraderie, humility, how to resolve differences. These are the words of the legendary basketball player, Kobe Bryant. Participating in sports activities from a young age is a necessity more than a environment. Of course, it builds your body, makes you stronger, and teaches you the 5 C's of positive youth development, that is competence, confidence, connection, compassion, caring, and character. But above all, I feel that the hugest gain one can get from playing sports is the will to get up when you fall. You get to taste both victories and failures at a very young age through sports. It teaches you how powerful hard work is. Just as Kevin Durant once said, hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Sports also help us to be calm and composed under pressure and to think quick and sharp. Playing team sports also helps kids to socialize and come out of their nutshells. I'm from Kerala, and here there's a field in every single corner. You won't really know to whom it belongs to. It's more like if it's a field, it's all right to play there. And let me just tell you, even in this most local form of sports, which we play solely for our enjoyment, there are rules. It's a foul if you touch the ball with your hand or if you score another net. So knowingly or unknowingly, we become disciplined. We learn to follow a set of rules through sports. We learn to play for the team. Believe me, it takes a huge heart to give a pass. Play for the name on the front of the jersey, and they'll remember the name on the back, said Tony Adams, a great football player. Now, just as sports is important to the youth, youth is also very important to sports. The sports industry mainly comprises of the young generation. Sports has mainly been a preserve of those in their youth, as that is the point at which we still have the strength, the agility, the mindset, and the motivation to be actively involved in. In most sporting activities, one is said to be at their prime in their youth. From playing with your mates in your school ground to playing at a World Cup, it's the youth of every generation that is building up the legacy of sports. I'm pretty sure all of you remember watching someone score a goal or a six on the TV and deciding that you want to be like him or her. That dream of every child is the powerhouse of sports. Let me give you my example. Honestly, I'm more of a studious kind, but if I have to choose between an hour before my physics text and a fine game of badminton, without even thinking, I would go for the game. And I'm sure every kid will, because that makes me feel lively. It boosts my energy and brings a smile to my face. Youth comprise a large part of the world's population. About one-fourth of them would be involved in different kinds of sports professionally, and the rest would be its ambassadors, because half the fan population is also the youth. So, without doubt, we can conclude that the youth is the most important segment of the population to sports. Now, let's say what hinders the role of youth in sports. Let me just give you an instance. Suppose you got the opportunity to
Please be
represent
brief.
your state. Yes, sir. Your state at the national level, but the game was on the day before your 12th mathematics board exam or something. Then 99% of the Indian parents would ask their kids to stay back and prepare for their boards. You know why? Because they just don't feel it's important enough. We all have to change our mindset. It's not going to be easy, I know, but it is essential if we want sports to develop in our country. Here, anything other than academics is considered a waste
No,
of
your
time.
net.
What is that? A few marks in a max test. So very. So I feel that for sports to develop,
No, your net is giving problem. Anyways, Miss Sri Lakshmi, you have made your point. Thank you very much. My apologies. I forgot. I have overlooked one of our guests. His youth guest is still there, and she is Miss Agnes. Please
the
go ahead.
parents of the children, and also
Miss
now,
Sri
even in the
Lakshmi,
screen time, when we are every house has
thank you.
obviously
Thank,
pulling it. The youth is the heart and soul of sports.
Thank you, Miss Sri Lakshmi. Sorry, because your net has gone between. Anyway, now, Miss Agnes, please go ahead. Time is limited. Thank you.
Yeah. Very good morning to Surendra sir and also for giving me this opportunity. On to this topic, why is sport important and engaging for youth? As an athlete, the future teacher and a coach, I can both personally and professionally attest to the incredible importance of sports in the youth's development. Youth's body develops when he intensely practices, when he intensely engages himself in the process, when they need, it's not only need, but it is meant to be physically active in order to develop himself. Health is the absence of illness, but fitness, on the other hand, is the presence of physical capability. So I strongly put forth that the youth are more fitter in the field of sports. Youth need to firstly develop essentially on the components such as stamina, which is the aerobic capacity, his suppleness, their flexibility, agility, timing, his coordination, and fine motor skills. The physical activity is accelerated in itself. It is its own reward, and most often it brings within a self-confidence or a well-being that is in fact the major key to the sports, which makes it fun. Sports, because it is physical in nature, it allows youth to learn so much about themselves in internally and externally. It might be physically his body appearance, or it might be externally, and what they are capable of. They also face challenges. Challenges are very important. The individual is put down in a situation where he is receiving, or he himself is into that action, or the pressure of the game, which is in that containment environment. It also creates a pathway to and through the challenge. Sports is fully engaging. Simultaneously, it involves in action, containing all the four domains such as physical, cognitive, affective, and social domains. According to me, I put down the role, but it's not about the role of the youth, but it is the rule of the youth in sports. Not only preparing and playing is the key to win, but the matter of winning is rather playing and preparing. It is the main key point, which makes an individual or a player defined and centered. I like to put down these beneficial points which are given to youth from sports. Fitness is established to a youth, which sets him and takes him to heights, to stages for lifetime benefits. Sports also creates body awareness, body image. In other words, we can just say it's just body functioning. We can make it internally, or it might be fashion related, or it might be appearance. A sportsman is just he is seen and he is identified, because there is a difference between a normal person and a sportsman who is identified far more better than the normal person. Excitement of movement, which is just the kinesthetic reward that he gets with his skills and his techniques which he's learning. The another one is multidimensional. Multidimensional itself says that two or more type of learning, which is experimental and abstract learning. He first orally listens to his coach. He then exhibits to his friends and co-players in the field, and he executes through his practices. These are the three key points which mainly works to a player or an individual inside the field of play, which is oral, listening, and executing through his practice. Challenges are that
Be brief.
yeah, sure. challenges are nothing but he is put down into that pressure and that fear not to put down, not to let down the team, the fear to not to let down the coach or the co-players or himself, the name of the state, the district or anything. Finally comes it all the way after these points comes the success. And I would like to conclude with this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Agnes.
Yeah.
Now, in the end, our chief guest, Mr. Surendra Khanna, what message you would like to give? Just unmute yourself, Mr. Khanna. Please unmute. Please unmute. No, it has not yet been unmuted. No. Yes, please. What short, very short message which you want to give to the youth, please?
Well, I listen to all the young boys and girls. They're very enthusiastic and on the right track. The social media is also helping quite a bit. A great thing about outdoor sports is I've seen a lot of introvert kids when put into outside sports, field sports, team sports. After a while, they become difficult to control and they are extroverts. I'm talking about 8-year-old, 10-year-old. A lot of parents come to my academy and say, the boy is very shy. Girls are supposed to be shy, but boys are very shy. And I say, you leave them here for a month and then you'll come and complain that he talks too much. So that's the kind of impact it has on young children. And also, not only it makes you physically stronger, it teaches you to work in groups. It also creates leaders, because in my academy, in every tournament, we have a different captain. We give opportunity to everyone to captain the team when he's good enough to play in the team. And then we decide after 1 year or 2 years, who is the best man to lead. So same way, when they go into the corporate world, they are leaders in their own right. So not only that you're winning medals and getting fitter, you got to be physically strong when you train and mentally very, very tough as well. Okay. Then only you will be able to handle the 150 million people. You're not competing against Lal Saab or Surinder Khanna.
Okay.
Competing with 150 million. So you got to prepare yourself in such a manner. And I wish you all the very best. And that's what we can do. Do well in life, stay fit in pandemic, must observe the social distancing and wear the mask and also wash your hands. We got to learn to live with pandemic. These vaccines are all false confidence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khanna. Thank you very much, Mr. Surendra Khanna, for giving such a motivational and inspirational views today. And I'm sure all the youths who have participated and who are watching are going to be enlightened by this. And today's program, which has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, Newsgaon se Samvad Saroka News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. And tomorrow, as you all know, the India is celebrating our Republic Day. So tomorrow, the role of youth in Republic India. And our chief guest is Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, one-man expert commission on labor, Government of India. So please tune in tomorrow.
Before you go,
yes, please.
Every countryman in India and abroad, all the Indians, a very happy Republic Day.
Yes, and same to you all. And what he said is yes, everyone in advance, the Happy Republic Day. So tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Mr. Surendra Khanna. Thank you all the youth, young leaders who have joined today. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.